civilized four-wheel drive and anti-lock brakes. You can save up to $1,500. That baby is out of here.
Every dealer cash incentives on selected models mean up to $50 on the Subaru. You could save up to $1,500 on the Subaru.
If you're searching for great oldies on the radio, the search ends here.
Extra 104, now with 10 great oldies in a row.
Extra 104 is the only Washington radio station that gives you great oldies all the time. Great oldies from the 60s, back-to-back, non-stop. So, for your favorite oldies anytime, remember, set a button on your radio to 104.1 FM. Extra 104, great oldies all the time.
Monday nights at 6:30, tune in to Home Team Sports for the Washington Post Sports Talk, a weekly program featuring Washington Post sports columnists and guests, plus interviews with fans on the street about the hot topics in sports. Every Monday night at 6:30, it's the Washington Post Sports Talk.
The channel you cheer for, Home Team Sports. Home Team Sports. The channel you cheer for, Home Team Sports. The channel you're here for. We've got the Bullets, we've got the Caps, Orioles magic. We've got the action, we've got the drive. It's a Home Team exclusive, we've got it live.
Looks for Corson, can't find him. Citarelli, a flat shot, and it goes! Up to Danico. Danico landed at the blue line by Scott Stevens. Here we go. Sutter carries from center ice. He's across the blue line. Mason comes out. Here's a shot. Saved by Mason.
Channel you cheer for, Home Team Sports.
We are headed to overtime here on Home Team Sports. The road to the Stanley Cup continues here with overtime, the first playoff overtime game in this series. Welcome back. I'm Jeff Rimmer, and on Home Team Sports, it's always a pleasure to welcome to our studios George Michael of NBC Sports. And George, your thoughts here as now we get set for overtime.
Well, you know, prior to the Rangers getting those last two goals, I'd gone through my 3 stars, and I had John Druce, #1, Mike Liut, #2, Rod Langway, #3. Because I had thought that the Capitals had done a spectacular job. They had held the Rangers scoreless on 7 power play opportunities. The 8th one, however, was a different story. So the Rangers get that goal, and then I think the Capitals were probably thinking only defense, don't give up a goal, don't give up a goal, and zap, you're tied 3-3.
What are your thoughts now as we head to overtime? Is the momentum with the New York Rangers? The Caps cannot afford to let the Rangers get back in this hockey game. If they win now in overtime, coming from behind, going back to Madison Square Garden, suddenly the momentum shifts in a big way, away from Washington.
To be honest, I think if you talk about the Washington people and those who have followed the Capitals for a long time, the Capitals can't let this game slip away. They've had so many where they had the opportunity to take a lead. If you recall, a couple years ago, they had a 3-1 lead in the series. The Capitals need this game. The Rangers, on the other hand, if they get this goal, you know, they get the next goal, they win, they go back to New York, they feel like they've got the series in their hands. Even though, no matter what happens here, if the Rangers win, it's still only a 2-2 series.
Are you telling me that if the Caps let this one get away, that the Doubting Thomas
they will get blasted.
Here we go again with the Washington Capitals in the Stanley Cup playoffs?
Absolutely, there's no question. You know, you have to think positive, though. Remember the night that Dale Hunter scored his goal? Everybody, in overtime against the Flyers out here, everybody said, the Capitals, they'll never beat the Flyers. And they did. The thing that's amazing about this, Jeff, is that they've managed to put together such a great penalty-killing unit. I think that what's most impressive about the Capitals tonight is the fact that they came out and played as well as they did Monday night, even after a first period where the Rangers clearly outplayed them.
All right, let's look into that George Michael crystal ball. Who's going to score in overtime and win this one?
You know, I didn't think John Druce could score 10 goals in 11 games. I would love to see John Druce get it. Who would have thought Tim Berglund would get the first goal? I don't know. I think that the Rangers right now have got to be on top of the world. You have to make sure in the first 2 minutes the Rangers don't get a quick goal if you're a Capitals fan.
I'll tell you,
who's going to score?
If it's a Washington goal, it's going to be Dale Hunter. He thrives on these overtimes. He scored a big goal with the Quebec Nordiques when they beat the Montreal Canadiens.
Right.
Sidelined them. He scored some big goals for the Washington Capitals in overtime. You talked about the Philadelphia Flyers and that overtime goal. If somebody's going to score for the Capitals here, it's going to be Dale Hunter in overtime. And we got to look at the New York Rangers. You think in terms of Bernie Nichols and the big goal he scored to tie this game up. But there's a guy that used to play for the Capitals that would like to score for the New York Rangers, but we're not even going to think about the Rangers scoring in overtime.
This has been a well-played hockey game.
It has been.
The Capitals, as I said, killed off 7 penalties. They made the most of their power play opportunities. The fact that they had a 2-man advantage and scored. John Druce, 2 goals. I think that when you look at Druce, 11 goals. I mean, 11 goals in 10 games. Jeff, no one would have thought that possible.
Hey, John Druce didn't score 11 goals all season long.
And what, in 45 games, he had, what, 8 in 45?
It's incredible what Terry Murray's done with people like John Druce, Tim Berglund, Rob Murray in the lineup tonight. The Capitals playing very well. You've got to give the Rangers, though, some credit for coming back in this game.
Let me get 2 plugs. One to Kelly Miller, the other to Mike Ridley. If you turn around, every time it seems you see a number 17, Mike Ridley. And not only are they killing their penalties, but you notice they've had a couple of pretty good opportunities shorthanded. Those 2 people are extremely important. In this overtime, it's simply going to be, as you well know from all overtime goals, whoever gets the first break.
Capitals were leading in the series to the Rangers. They eventually lost a few years back, the last time these 2 teams played in the playoff series. Ridley and Miller were then with the Rangers. I like the fact they're in the Capitals dressing room right now. We'll see the Caps come back here early in overtime. And you can get your show on 11 o'clock on time.
Hey, we'll love it. We'll take the star of the game right after you.
All right, George Michael of Channel 4. And stay tuned. We've got more of our overtime intermission right after this.
You'll get great service and great savings with the Pennzoil Car Care Savings Book. It's filled with coupons that can save you over $80 on helpful car care products. And it's yours free with any oil change using the world-class protection of quality Pennzoil. So come by a participating Jiffy Lube today. Get a fast, professional oil change with quality Pennzoil and your free Pennzoil Car Care Savings Book.
Tuesday is Ladies' Day at Jiffy Lube. Come by for a 14-point service and a special surprise just for the ladies.
When issues of agility and precision take on special urgency, we recommend the BMW 5 Series. Its unparalleled defense system is designed to help you emerge unscathed from a hostile world.
Only one man has ever excited an audience this much. The King, Elvis Presley. Now, Time Life Video captures the raw energy and excitement of Elvis in a brand new collection of his greatest movie hits. The excitement begins with Jailhouse Rock. It's yours at the special introductory price of just $9.99. Then you can add other exciting Elvis Presley titles to your home video collection. There's no minimum to buy. Cancel anytime. So call now to get Jailhouse Rock for just $9.99. Here's how to order.
To order your Elvis Presley video cassette, call 1-800-441-1600. That's 1-800-441-1600. Or send $9.99 plus $3.23 shipping and handling to Elvis Presley Video Collection, P.O. Box 1880, Department HT, Alexandria, Virginia, 22313.
It's the Capitals 3 and the New York Rangers 3 at the end of regulation time here in Game 4 of the Patrick Division final round. Mike Fornes and Al Koken welcoming you back once again here on our Home Team Sports hockey coverage tonight. And playoff overtime, we're no strangers to that, are we?
No.
This is going to be a good one because the Rangers came back, although the Caps had a great second period, great third period until the very end when the Rangers came back and with some very carefully orchestrated moves and a lucky bounce that they worked hard to get. They are in a tie situation, and now we'll see if the Rangers' momentum will carry them on to victory in this game or if the Caps will be able to overcome it, turn things up a notch, and go ahead in this series by 3-1.
Well, you know, the Capitals gave the Rangers a lot of opportunities on the power play in that third period. The Capitals started out the third period with a power play of their own, and as we'll show you worse with the Capitals shot chart, you'll see that the Capitals get a goal from John Druce. Planted right in front, he deflects a shot by Kevin Hatcher right past Mike Richter, and the Caps are in great shape. They're leading the game 3-1 at this point. You see right here, Courtnall throws it to Hatcher, and all Hatcher does is just flip it on net. But once again, John Druce has shaken away from a veteran defenseman, this time Norm Rochefort, to get a stick on the puck and deflect it home, and it looked like the Capitals were golden. But during that period, the Capitals continued to give the New York Rangers a number of power plays, and we'll show you the Rangers shot chart, and you see how they started to take advantage. They started to get plenty of shots on Mike Liut. Mike Liut was making great saves, but it was that one last power play when Neil Sheehy didn't dump the puck in. It's picked off by the New York Rangers. Mike Ridley got kind of a half hook that was called by Dennis Morrell, and it gave the New York Rangers the power play. Now, watch what happens here. You'll see Kevin Hatcher starting to come out with the puck. Look how two New York Rangers put the stick on him and take Hatcher down to the ice right here. That is not called by Dennis Morrell. So instead of the Caps getting the puck out of the zone, the Rangers are able to keep it in. Now watch here. Stop it right there. You've got Ogrodnik spinning. Rangers all alone in front, and look how far out all the Caps defense people are. Rod Langwood comes back to try and take off this man, but that leaves Ogrodnik, and the Rangers find Ogrodnik, set him up with a perfect pass. To stop it again. Here comes Liut. Now watch how Liut comes over here, and Ogrodnik shoots it right past him into that corner. The Caps thought they had it, getting it out of the zone. They didn't do it. Rangers did a nice job of keeping it in, turned it around, and Ogrodnik comes up with a key power play goal. But the Capitals still had the lead. But late in the game, the goaltender is pulled, and watch how the Rangers work from the faceoff. Ogrodnik beats Langway to it and keeps it alive. Then Kelly Kissio goes in that far corner and beats his man to it. Kevin Hatcher in front, hits off his skate, right to where Bernie Nichols can pop it, goes into the net, pops quickly back out. The goal light didn't come on, but there's no question Dennis Morrell is there to see it, and the Rangers have forced overtime off a nice bounce and a nice play.
Some differing views possibly on why Roger Nielsen made the change that allows only 12 seconds of work for John Van Beesbrook tonight, but it worked. And this game is tied, headed to sudden death overtime.
Advantage Jeep vehicles. Others copy, none compare. Advantage Eagle. New looks in performing art. Advantage Savings. Guaranteed cash back on Jeep Cherokees. New Eagle Premieres. Hot new Eagle Challenge. And Jeep Wranglers. During the Guaranteed Advantage Sellathon, the only advantage you don't have is time.
See your National Capital Area Jeep and Eagle dealer, where you can expect the best.
This is a beautiful morning for tennis.
Of course, any morning's beautiful if you're on the court. We'll be playing in a minute.
Can hardly wait. The running, the hitting, the rhythms. I don't know. You just feel so good inside playing. The strategies.
The fun. All the great people you'll meet. All the friends you'll make. Of course, the better you play, the better you feel.
If you're a tennis player, you'll feel really good for reading Tennis Magazine. Tennis Magazine covers everything you want to know about tennis. From instruction to equipment, pro tennis to resorts.
If tennis makes you feel good, a subscription to Tennis Magazine will make you feel great.
Tennis is a lot more than just exercise, and Tennis Magazine knows it.
Subscribe to Tennis Magazine now. Only $9.97 for 12 issues. Call 800-248-4422. We'll include 2 free booklets on improving your game. Tennis Magazine. Call 800-248-4422 now.
We're back live here on Home Team Sports, and we're headed to overtime. The last overtime game here as we take a trip down memory lane back on April the 16th of 1988. The Washington Capitals in the Patrick Division semifinal series against the Philadelphia Flyers. Craven is there. Craven to the blue line. Poke check by Murphy. Murphy starts the rush. He hits Hunter. He's in alone. A shot and a goal! There's nothing more than the Washington Capitals fans would like to do than to be here and see history repeat itself with the Washington Capitals winning in overtime, whether it's Dale Hunter or any one of the other Washington Capitals. The teams are on the ice. We're set to go. First overtime, and let's rejoin Mike Fornes and Al Koken.
All right, Jeff. Each team has played one game in sudden death overtime during this playoff series. The Capitals won theirs against the Devils, and the Rangers lost theirs against the Islanders. In fact, it was the lone game that the Islanders won during their playoff series. You see their playoff overtime records lifetime. Those are the records during the entire histories of each of the teams. And, of course, the Rangers have been around a lot longer than the Capitals. During the regular season, Washington won 2 games in overtime, lost 1 and tied 6. While the Rangers won 2, lost 2, and tied 13. So the Rangers are a much more experienced team, Al, in terms of playing overtimes this year. But they haven't won any more than the Washington Capitals and have lost in the playoffs.
You also have to think about the man who got the Capitals their overtime victory in the playoffs this year, Dino Ciccarelli. Not in the lineup because of that knee injury, and this is the type of situation where Dino Ciccarelli, a dangerous guy, you saw how dangerous Bernie Nichols was when the Rangers needed him. This is the type of situation the Caps needed Dino Ciccarelli.
Let's go back to Game 4 2 years ago against the Rangers, and the Rangers won in overtime that night, and it was Brian McClellan,
right,
who beat Washington. Who's been doing that type of a job for this Ranger club tonight? Watch out for Troy Millette.
Yep. McClellan wearing 27 that night. Millette's got 26 on his back. But I didn't see Millette almost that entire, I don't think he was out there much of that third period at all. He was out there on the bench, but he didn't play. So that injury, whatever it was, certainly has affected Millette.
Okay, first goal wins it, and here we go. On the right wing is Steve Leach, a slap shot, and he let fly with a defenseman stick blocking, and it goes into the corner. The puck taken in behind the goal. Here's Leach to try and work it loose. Leach back to the point for Langway. His wrist shot blocked. Langway cuts in on the left wing. He fires a shot. Script than that.
Well, Rod Langway kept the puck in. He gets around the Ranger player at the blue line, and all he does is just walk in. Rod Langway shoots the puck. Now, it's about to come out, but he keeps it going. Now, he sees there's traffic in front. He walks, fires, and beats Mike Richter on that glove side.
Caps win 4-3. And they lead in the best-of-7 series, 3 games to 1.
Now here's Langway's first shot. It comes right back out at him, and the Rangers almost broke out of the zone. But Langway kept it in and walked around. He's looking all the way, keeping his head up. He sees nobody charging him until the very end. Traffic in front. Miller screening Richter, and it finds its way into the net. The unlikely hero standing by downstairs now with Jeff Rimmer.
Thank you, Rod. I don't know if you can hear me, but you picked the best time of the year to score your first goal.
I was pretty lucky, and I was lucky the puck came back when Mike walked the puck at the point, and it just happened to go in.
I want you to describe it as we'll get one more look at it.
Well, I get the puck at the point, and Mike blocked the first initial shot, and I just happened to get it back on my stick, and I went right to the net.
This is the kind of game I think the Capitals had to win tonight.
Oh, for sure. After going up 3-1, they came back and fought real hard. And, you know, we knew it was going to be a really goal in overtime, and we were lucky to get it.
Rod, I know you want to get back there and enjoy it. Thanks for coming back out.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Rod Langway, overtime goal. The Capitals now leading the series 3-1. We are headed to New York for Game 5. Back upstairs to Mike Forens and Al Coker.
All right, let's take a look once again at the overtime goal as you see Langway firing, and it's blocked, but he manages to carry it around, and then as he walks across that circle, he didn't have much room to shoot at, and puts it on the glove side, top corner, and it goes past Richter into the net for the game winner. And a man who scored nothing all season long, who you don't look to for offense, but the guys teased him about it, and he comes up with a big one here to win this game for the Washington Capitals. Look at the angle as Richter comes out. And Langway had very little room to shoot at on that side, but he beats him to the glove side, picking the top corner. And it goes over his glove. It goes over the glove of Richter. And a happy group of Washington Capitals and a very pleased crowd here at the Capitol Center leaving this building now as the Caps lead the series 3-1. Game 5 coming up on Friday night at Madison Square Garden. We'll be back with our post-game show right after this.
But you have to go down there.
I'm not going down there. You go down there.
I'll go, you go.
What are you going to do this winter when that big thing in the basement breaks again and your house starts to get cold? Call 941 Heat for information about a new high-efficiency gas furnace.
That's it?
That little thing will heat my whole house?
Yep, that's how you keep it warm.
Washington Gas.
I'll only produce the best quality milk. Safeway only buys the best quality milk. We get along.
Safeway's Lucerne. 86 gold medals for freshness, for quality, for taste.
I tell you, I think about those kids over the hills and about making the best glass of milk and the best white mustaches they've ever had.
Safeway's Lucerne milk. There's a special quality about everything we do.
Who's that? Our neighbor, Orrin. Ever since he got his new Murray, he's been mowing the whole neighborhood.
When you pay good money for a mower, you want it to be tough and dependable.
Does such a good job, we're making the yard bigger. What? Does such a
Murray mowers are as tough as they come, cutting after cutting after cutting.
That Murray's a good buy.
What?
Goodbye.
Oh, say hello to Edna.
Murray mowers, tough as they come.
Saturday, May 5th at 4 o'clock, BMW presents the Virginia Gold Cup, live and exclusively on Home Team Sports.
And we're back live here on Home Team Sports. The Capitals allow the New York Rangers back in this hockey game. Give the Rangers some credit for coming back. But then early in overtime, Rod Langway picking, well, really no better time to get his first goal of the season. First goal, obviously, the playoffs. And a big goal, possibly the biggest goal that Rod Langway has ever scored in his National Hockey League career as the Washington Capitals defeat the Rangers and take a commanding 3-1 series lead. Let's get one more look at the goal by Rod Langway as the Washington Capitals in overtime come away with a big and exciting victory on home ice. Langway from just the edge of the face-off circle beating Mike Richter may have been partially screened on the play, and Rod Langway and the Capitals celebrate as they take a 3-1 series lead. Game 5 back at Madison Square Garden in New York on Friday night. Our Texaco star of the game is Rod Langway. Tonight's star of the game, Rod, will receive $50 towards the purchase of System 3 gasoline. System 3, after 5 tanks, it gets even better. Great effort by the team captain of the Washington Capitals, and a great effort by the Capitals as they come right back after allowing the Rangers back in this hockey game. And our congratulations to the Washington Capitals team and certainly the organization. A big, big, big win this was tonight on home ice. And they now go to New York for Game 5 in this Patrick Division final on Friday evening. Elsewhere in the NHL, you've got the Montreal Canadiens facing elimination. They're on their home ice after the Bruins took a 3-0 series lead. On our Washington Post scoreboard, it is now 4-1 and a final. So the Canadiens avoid elimination, and now will go back to the Garden in Boston, trailing, still a similar type situation with the Rangers, trailing in the series 3-1. Carbonneau, LeBeau actually with a pair of goals in that game, his first 2 of the playoffs. The only goal, Carter, for the Boston Bruins. As far as the Orioles are concerned, Oakland and the Orioles now in extra innings, and that one is tied. Don't forget it here on Home Team Sports tomorrow night. We're right back here with more baseball. 7 o'clock for the Orioles report with Tom Davis. First pitch tomorrow night. Mel Proctor, John Lowenstein joining you at 7:30. That's it here from Ice Level. Let's go back upstairs now to Mike Fornes and Al Koken.
All right, Jeff, thanks very much. And all the people pretty happy here as they leave this building tonight with a more unlikely hero you could not imagine offensively. You don't look to Rod Langway to score goals. His job is to keep them from the other team from scoring. And boy, what a great job he did. And talk about shooting accuracy. He'll be ribbing his teammates for a long time.
Well, you know, I think, though, that's one of the things. You know, obviously Rod Langway doesn't get a lot of goals, needless to say that. But when he does get his shots, he usually does put them on net. Now, they just don't go in. But this time, he had traffic to work with in front, and I think that's the smart play of Langway. A veteran player like that knows he's got nobody to challenge, so just come walking in and wait for things to develop in front. He did, got the screen from Kelly Miller, and the rest puts this crowd in delirium.
Okay, that's it from the Cap Center tonight as everybody leaves in a great mood, and the Caps with a lot of momentum heading into Game 5, and that'll be played at Madison Square Garden on Friday evening. Caps win in overtime tonight. Final score, 4-3. Washington Capitals game coverage on Home Team Sports was brought to you by Cold-Filtered Miller Genuine Draft, the #1 draft choice of Capital fans. Tap into the cold. By Subaru. Subaru built their reputation by building a better car. And by Labatt's Blue, the crisp, clean taste of Canada's best beer. Between friends, it's true blue. Labatt's Blue. And by Hardee's. Hardee's has all kinds of good stuff. And by Kodak. Show your true colors with Kodacolor Gold Film. The executive producer of Home Team Sports is Jody Shapiro. Tonight's game was produced by Bill Brown and directed by Sheldon Schemmer. Our chief engineer is Ernie Fingers. Our thanks to our technical director, John Niehaus. Until next time, this is Mike Fornes for Al Koken and Jeff Rimmer saying thanks for watching and so long from the Capitol Center. Tonight's final score once again in sudden death overtime, Washington 4 and New York 3. Be sure to be with Home Team Sports tomorrow night when the Orioles take on the Oakland A's live at 7:30 p.m. We may be back as soon as Sunday night for Game 6 of the Patrick Division Finals live at 7 o'clock. In that case, our broadcast coverage would begin at 6:30 with the Washington Gas Capitals report live with Jeff Rimmer right here on Home Team Sports, the channel you cheer for. But we will be back with more playoff action on HCS. Washington Capitals hockey is a presentation of Home Team Sports.